Good evening, everyone, or good morning. We have people tuning in already on my YouTube channel. Let's break the silence with Angeline. So, welcome to our podcast show. And tonight we are going to be diving into a deeply personal and powerful conversation about resilience, love, and navigating motherhood with grace. So, my guest, Trisha Anne Meneses, is a single mom raising a teenager with autism, and she's here to share her incredible journey of strength, advocacy, and growth. So, Trisha, welcome. And the first question, okay, welcome. Hi, everyone. Okay. All the way from Australia. Okay, so I always ask my guests, what time is it where you are right now?
It is 11:12 a.m.
11 on Friday, right?
on a Friday. Yes, Friday.
Wow. And this is the power of social media. The power
Yes.
of social media where we're able to connect from all over the world. And Trisha and I, we had the pleasure of connecting a couple of years ago on Facebook. So I'm really, really excited for you to share your journey. So can you start by sharing a little bit about your journey as a mom and what inspired you to share your story? Because this is a story of strength and love with your
Yes.
son. So tell us about it.
So my son was diagnosed with autism in 2017, and once upon getting the diagnosis, there was no roadmap. So I didn't know where to turn to or who to talk to about to navigate this journey with my son. I'm raising a child with autism as a single parent, and it was something that I felt that I needed to share my story, to connect with other moms that are dealing with or having similar journey as me, by going on social media like Instagram and Facebook, and connecting with other parents, getting to learn what they've done, so then I can do it with my son as well.
Okay. All right. And yes, because today more awareness needs to be spread. And I just want to introduce my friend Belinda. I can hear this is Binny. I love it. Binny, we had the pleasure of connecting on social media on TikTok. So she and I actually went live today on TikTok. So she is here to support you. So she's here to support the for both of us. So can you take us back to when you first received your child's autism diagnosis? So you said, I think 2017. So what were some of the initial emotions and challenges that you faced?
Upon receiving the diagnosis from my son Levi, um, I felt I wasn't feeling anything. I was just saying to my mind that this can't be, it can't be. And I didn't know where to start. Like, I did study autism, I did know people that have autism, but I just didn't know where to begin, because when you receive a diagnosis, it's like pulling like all the puzzle pieces together, and knowing the fact that, okay, this is what I have to do with my son, in this sort of situation, or I have to do this with my son with that sort of situation. Like, for example, he had a fear, or he had sensory issues with haircuts. And so for many years, he didn't want to get a haircut. He was afraid to go to the barbershop. You would have to have like two people to hold him at a barbershop. And some of the barbershops didn't want him to come back to the shop. And for me, I had to sacrifice myself or make the decision to actually cut my own son's hair myself. And I'm not a hairdresser myself. So every time I cut his hair, it's got no hair or bald, to the point where in 2021 or 2022, he was able to go to the barbershop and just sit down and get a haircut. So since then, until now, he's been going to the barbershop And this is based on his special interest, which is trains. So the barbershop is near the train station. So he loves to watch the trains on the mirror to go past. So, yeah.
Wow. So yeah, that's great. So he had a passion for trains then. Strong passion. Yes. And I commend you because raising a teenager with autism, I'm sure it has its challenges. So can you like give me some examples where he
The
struggles?
challenges were as a single mom, doing everything by yourself on your own. That is the most
Okay.
challenging thing for myself. Um, Although I had like support around me, I still had to do it on my own, and which made me feel that I wasn't really doing it good enough for myself or good enough for my son. So the more that I try to make him do things, he's always not motivated to do what I say for him to do. And for example, sports. Sports is a common topic that a lot of people have been asking me for my son to do. And seeing that my son doesn't play activities outside of school, I'm trying to find other ways for him to be interested in these sort of like sports, going out and all of that. But all his motivation is through trains. So anything related to trains, he's motivated to do that. And if he's not, then he no, like that. Like last year, I tried to find like swimming lesson for my son. I was on my laptop and he was on my bed, like looking at his iPad, and he saw the swimming website, and he goes, "No, mummy, I'm not gonna do that." Straight away. And sometimes, the other day I was crying because I was seeing a lot of parents having, having their children going to sport, and my son is not doing anything. He's always liking to stay home. And it just makes me feel that I'm not doing enough, and no one's helping me by, hey Trish, I help you to get Levi to this sort of sport, or hey Trish, I'll help you with these sort of things. Let me know. Like I never get that, and it's all on me. Like I have to do it myself, and that's the most challenging thing that I've ever done.
Right. Doing it all by yourself. Exactly. Exactly. That's hard. That's hard. And I commend you because you've been able to navigate this, navigating as autism as a single parent. So let me ask you this. So how did you educate yourself about autism, and what resources or support systems helped you in the beginning?
It all started in 2020 during the pandemic, and I was sharing. I openly shared about my son's journey with autism on there by sharing with other mums that have children with autism, with productivity and time management. And I've learned with a lot of these parents who are going through a similar journey as myself, and dealing with haircuts, all of the emotional, mental breakdowns that they've got. I did courses with a teacher from Canada. Her name is Molly Johnson, from the Autism Consultant. I did her courses a couple of times. I did learn about autism. I've been watching a lot of autism shows and getting to learn more about these parents and how they navigate their journey. And so maybe I can actually implement what they're doing to mine, or get some ideas of what to do with Levi as well.
Okay. All right. And right now, I want to ask you this. What were some of the biggest misconceptions that you had about autism before, your son experienced it firsthand? What are some of the misconceptions?
I never had a misconception.
You never did.
Um,
Okay.
no, I never did. I knew autism, like I knew people that had autism, but I didn't know where autism came from, because there's a lot of misconceptions around there. that that caused autism, and there is no answer to that question. There is nothing there that causes to have autism, like through vaccines or anything like that. There is no cure for autism. We have to sort of, as parents, find the solution for that particular problem or situation, or that milestone that they want to achieve ourselves.
Right, exactly. Totally agree with you. And now I want to ask you this: how do you balance self-care while being the primary caregiver for your child? So how do you balance self-care? How do you do all this? Because raising a teenager is a full-time job, and your son is amazing, and I've seen so much growth from you. So how do you balance the self-care? Tell us about that. And so this way other moms could learn from you how to balance self-care.
Well, it all depends on your schedule, and your priorities, and what you really want to do for yourself. And how I manage to get self-care is actually look at, because in the mornings I wake up at 5 a.m. and my son goes to school at 8 o'clock. And so I wake up at 5. At least I give myself like 2 hours to do like my morning journal, waking up, getting my son's food prepared, and then he gets up, and when he gets prepared by himself, he's not independent enough to get dressed on his own. And then during the day, I like to divide my day, like my times, because I've got only limited time for myself. So I always try to make a schedule or an appointment in the mornings rather than having it in the afternoons, because when you're productive, you always have high energy when you in the mornings. Yes.
I agree. And I get up at 5 a.m. every morning too.
Yes.
That's the most productive time for me, between 5 and 7.
Yes.
And
I do know it's hard for moms have children with autism to go to sleep early, because they also have sleeping issues. Like last night, my son didn't sleep until 1 o'clock. I didn't sleep until 1 o'clock, and I woke up at 5. I keep telling him to sleep. Levi, can you sleep? Can you sleep? And he was awake like until 1 o'clock. And I said, you need to go to bed. It's already 12 o'clock. He goes, no, mommy, I want to sleep at 1. That's my bedtime.
Really? And what time does he get up?
Gets up at 6.
I see.
Yes.
So what advice can you get? Yeah. If I have 4 hours of sleep now, for me, it's not good. But I commend you for getting up at 5 o'clock. So what encouragement can you give to the single moms out there who experience this? Because I'm sure some of them sleep late. So try to have
like a bedtime routine. And I know it's difficult that you can't. But my best advice is to take naps during the day, take rest during the day. You can't do everything all at once. You can't do everything, like this. For me, like I like to do things like with my high energy in the morning. So when it comes to the afternoon, I can actually relax and recharge myself. Or if there's a day that I feel like I'm not ready to do a lot of things, I just relax and regain. You can't pour. What do they say? You can't pour on an empty.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
It's that one, yeah. So you
right, you can't pour from an empty cup. So at times, do you feel overwhelmed, or not really? Not now.
At times I feel overwhelmed. Like at times that I feel that I get tired in the morning. Sometimes I have to drink 2 coffees in the morning to wake me up.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's very overwhelming to do things for yourself, especially raising a child with autism. There's a lot of responsibilities to take.
Right. There are a lot of responsibilities. Absolutely. Absolutely. There are a lot of responsibilities. And let me ask you this, because I know that you've been a strong advocate for Levi. So, what advice would you give to parents who are still trying to find their voice and advocating for their child's needs? So, what's the best advice that you could give them?
My best advice is, if you really want to share your story, share it. There's a lot of parents out there that are going through what you're going through or having a similar journey as you. Even I like I said before, like I shared my story in 2020, and just last year I had to, stop that, like sharing Levi's autism journey due to personal reasons. Then I decided to do it this year, with a message saying to everyone that I really want to advocate for my son, because there's so much things there that I need to learn or need to know about raising a teenager in this sort of environment. And there's a lot of things that I'm still learning, and there's a lot of things that I am also, implementing with Levi as well.
Okay. Okay. And how do you work with educators? Because I recall that you had worked with someone, or you working with an educator. And how do you work with educators, therapists, or doctors to ensure that your child receives the best support possible? And I want to talk about school too.
Yes.
So, what kind of support does he receive?
Leave in Australia, we do have NDIS, which is called National Disability Insurance Scheme, and
Oh,
it helps parents or people that have disability like and autism with funds. So Levi has funds, so he gets funds through like therapies, and at the moment he's getting support worker and coordinator for the NDIS that looks after all the paperwork for me. Um, Levi just only started getting support worker, and there's an issue now with his school that a policy now that they are trying to find another way for the therapist to go to the school. So Levi at the moment he's not getting a speech therapist, so he's only
mm,
getting support worker at the moment, which is only every fortnight for 2 hours.
okay. All right. And Belinda asked a very good question. She said, does it get any easier to share your story? That's a good question.
No, it's not. Um, it's
Mm,
the it's how people will perceive your story and sharing your story and how they think. And sometimes, like for me in my culture, because I do come from a private family, um, they really don't want me to share Levi's journey to the world. And I found that sharing my story to others um, have inspired many moms through my field, like in my following on my Instagram page. And I do watch a Filipino actor, comedian, and she's also a single mom with a teenager. And she has done a lot of things to share her story since 2020 on the pandemic. So she keeps sharing her story, and I really look up to her. And she reminds me of me. So uh, yeah, so
oh,
it's difficult to share story because there's a lot of denials, there's a lot of like isolations with this. Like if someone hears your story, they'll isolate you because or they will what they will feel like lonely because they didn't know how to share their story. So I was like that before. So
okay. Before we met, right? Before we met, I recall. Yes. Yes. It's hard. Of course it is. And Belinda, that's a very good question. So I'm glad that you asked that question. However, as we all see, look, down Belinda is saying, oh my God, you're such a strong woman. It's hard to help when family doesn't support you. Okay. At times, I know, I totally get it, Belinda, totally get it. But you know what? you're spreading awareness because your
Yes.
story, we've talked
So
about this.
that's my priority when I was sharing my story in 2020, was spreading awareness and advocating for my son. And basically, it's for me, I felt that I was not sharing too much, but I'm sharing a lot of like achievements through my son, what he's been doing. And although I was meant to keep all of this private, I thought that I would keep this private in 2023. Like I would stop sharing like anything about autism, because once people share about autism on my family personal Facebook group or personal Facebook page, all of that, not they tend to feel that that they've heard a lot about autism, and it's only spreading awareness. And it's not just to me; it's a lot of parents in my situation share this journey. And I gotta say that in April every year they have like Autism Awareness Month. So all of these parents will jump on their Facebook pages, their Instagram pages, and they will share like all of the educating others about autism. And I did that before, so it really helped to understand autism, or when you've done your own research, but then also tell others what you've learned.
Right. Okay. And what I would like to ask is, what are some of the greatest lessons that Levi has taught you?
Patience.
And yes, there is isolation. Yes, there is isolation. And we will touch on that in a minute. So let's talk about Levi for a second. Okay. So what is some of the greatest lessons that Levi has taught you?
Having patience and resilience.
Ooh. And can you give me an example of resilience and happiness?
Patience is when when you start like achieving a milestone. Now, for example, it was the haircut. I had a lot of patience there. I was crying. I didn't know what to do. I just didn't know how to, fix up my son's hair. I really wanted him to go to the barbershop, but no matter what, how many times I take him to the barbershop, he starts crying, he starts tantruming, he does all of these things, melt down, and it just makes me feel like, what am I going to do? Like, I don't know, I've got no one to help me. I've got, like, although I've got little support, but I can't really do this by myself. And so I really had the patience. And what I've learned about that is you need to trust the process.
There you go.
Things don't happen overnight. Things will come into place if you believe that it will happen. And yes, Levi took a long, long time to get his haircut done. That I just had that patience, and resilience is where like I was able to, become myself, and tell myself that I'm able to achieve being a single parent to Levi.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Patience and resilience. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Amazing. And actually, for single moms who are listening, who will be, listening to the podcast, and for those who will be watching the replay, who might feel alone in their journey, because there's a lot of loneliness out there. And some of these moms may feel alone in their journey. So what message would you like to share with them? Because I think that's very important.
Like I mentioned before, when once upon getting the diagnosis, you don't know where to turn to. And when you do that, you tell your family, you tell your friends, they're all in the denial. And they tell you, oh no, that your child is normal and all of that. But you know deeply that he's got this diagnosis. So you don't know who to turn to. And you feel lonely because sometimes your child doesn't get invited to parties, or your child doesn't want to go here, or your child doesn't want to go there, or you're too afraid to go out to shopping malls because your child would throw a tantrum or a meltdown, or a lot of these scenarios. And for myself, yes, Levi does like to stay home. And his motivation is trains. So anything that is relating to trains, I always try to make him go out. And I always try, if I ask him, okay, Levi, we're going out today and there's no trains related, he will walk out and he'll be so upset.
Wow.
He'll throw attention, he'll be so upset. And it will take him time to be all right. And you know, a lot of a lot of parents feel isolated and lonely because they don't know who to turn to. And so this is why they like to advocate online or going into Facebook groups, you know, making their own Instagram pages to share their journey with children with autism, so that they can connect with other parents in a similar journey, and you know, telling them that, you know, I'm not alone. And I did feel that before. I thought that I was alone. I thought that I was the only one dealing with all of these things that with my son. So when I, you know, in 2020, when I reached out to these moms, and when I was talking to them one by one, or other parents from my son's school, I'm like saying, okay, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I've got other people dealing with the same situation. At least now I can learn from them.
Right, exactly. And you have put together a community, because having a community of single moms is so important. So tell us about your community, please, because I'm very proud of you for stepping into your power and creating a Facebook community. So tell us about that so people can connect with you.
I created this Facebook group to connect with moms that you know, are dealing with a child with autism, and you know, sharing some tips and you know, strategies, and how I was able to cope with Levi, and you know, just connecting with all of them. And I think that I feel that I'm not alone in the journey. Like, at least I have a group of people to share my story with.
That's great. That's awesome. That's awesome. And Belinda has a question. Would Levi have the patience to work on model trains? That's a good question. That's a good question, Belinda.
Yes, anything with trains, he will say yes. Like this
Wow.
weekend, this weekend I'm having like a steam train event, and it's going past our station, and he wants to go there. So I have to sort of search what time it's coming over there, and yeah. So really, anything that is like trains, because he knows all these trains, like from the model, the history. He will actually tell you like what kind of model this train is, and for me, I don't even know these train models myself, but he will tell you, oh, Mom, this is so and so, like, yeah, and he knows all the trains around the world.
Wow.
I don't know how, but he knows it around the world. Yeah.
How does he know? Does he go on the computer? I mean, does he research?
Maybe
on YouTube? See?
Yeah.
YouTube. And Belinda, and I love the fact that we're having this conversation. So my husband works OK model trains, and there are train clubs everywhere. There you go. So there could be a supportive community for Levi, because that's his passion.
Yes.
See? Belinda, I'm so glad you're here tonight. So
Thank
glad that you're here tonight. See, and actually Belinda's in our Facebook group, in my Facebook. So yeah, so Belinda's amazing. She is amazing. See that? There's train clubs everywhere. There's train clubs everywhere. So Levi has found, and here we go. Here's model. Yes, I've heard of it. Model Railroaders magazines. Yes. See? That's awesome. That's great. Thank you, Belinda, for sharing that. So if you could go back and give yourself advice when you first started this journey, what would you say to yourself?
I should have started a long time ago when my son was diagnosed with autism.
Okay.
I started late sharing my story. But I've seen a lot of parents, they're showing that once their child has been diagnosed, they start right from them. But I should have started, like, for myself, I should have started when he was diagnosed, but I just didn't know how to. or didn't know how to move
You didn't know
forward.
how to. Okay. So you didn't have
And
the
when
resources.
So when the pandemic had happened, I thought that I should share my story. And after that, everything changed. Like I connected with other moms that have children with autism. They we talk, we share, and stories, and giving advices to each other and stuff.
Okay. Okay. And let's encourage other moms to share their stories, to share their journey like you have. So what I would like to close, because this has been an amazing interview, an amazing podcast. So what I would like to do is this. So Trisha, I know that your story is so inspiring, and I know so many listeners are feeling empowered by your journey. So how can people connect with you and continue to follow your story?
My Instagram page is at Life with Autism by Trisha. Same, both Facebook and Instagram. And I do have another one, which is the Productive Single Mum page, where I share time management and productivity tips for single mums that have children with.
All right, so and all the links will be posted in the show notes on YouTube and Spotify. So when this broadcast is over, it's going to be repurposed, and I'm going to include all the links. So tell us the Facebook page. It's the Productive,
There is, so the first one is Life with Autism by Trisha.
Okay, Life with Autism, okay, by Trisha. And what I'll do is let me add that banner. So that's it, right? That's it.
Yes.
Facebook page, okay. Okay, great. So this way, because I'm sure Belinda would want to be connected with that. So, and she can be very helpful in providing some resources. So the Facebook page is Life with Autism by Trisha, and tell us the second one.
And the other one is the Productive Single Mom.
The Productive Single Mom. Okay, I get it. Okay. Then we're going to add that, and then we're going to, okay, so that's on Facebook as well. So for those of you who are going to be watching the replay or listening to the podcast, like I said, all these links will be in the show notes. It's to contact Trisha. Please go to her Facebook page, which is the Productive Single Mom. And lastly, what is the IG page? I have the IG page, but what are the IG pages?
It's the same, but it's all together.
Got
it's
it.
The same. Yeah.
Okay, the same. Okay, let me just. Okay, so as far as the IG pages go, just put the @ and it's going to be @ Life with Autism by Trisha and @ the Productive Single Mom. So those are the pages to connect with Trisha on. And any questions, any support that you need, Trisha will absolutely provide you resources and tips. And I want to ask you the last question. How did you find your true passion?
I found my true passion by doing your very last module in your course. Although that I did find my passion, like maybe module 8 or module 7, and I thought that I would share, productivity, time management tips, even though like I have the passion for sharing that, and yeah, that's my passion.
Good. So because you completed my 9-week course by module 8 and 9, you found your true passion. And because I remember we talked about it. So, Trisha, this has been amazing. So let me just put the links up again to contact Trisha. The Facebook page is Life with Autism by Trisha. And what I'll do is when I repurpose my YouTube channel, I'm going to put the links in there. So I'll hyperlink it. So this way people can connect with you. The Productive Single Mom. And as far as the IG page is the same as these two right here. Okay. So Trisha, thank you so much. This has been, I love watching your journey and I love following your story, and great things are happening for you and Levi. So I'm very, very proud of you. And you know what? Your family is very proud of you right now. So I want you to carry that with you, okay? Because spreading awareness about autism is so important, because it's I don't know how to say this, but it's like a touchy subject. Like we talked about isolation, because some moms, they feel isolated and they're afraid. But I see more and more moms sharing their, their kid, if they have a son or if they have a daughter with autism, they're sharing their journey because they want to spread awareness and break the silence, and encourage other moms, because you're encouraging other moms as well. So, I know that this is a very, emotional, very emotional, but I wanted to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to share your journey with Levi. I'm very, very proud of you. So if this episode spoke to you, let us know in the comments, or send me a DM or reach out to Trisha to share your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this episode with a friend who needs to hear it. And if you're a single mom looking for encouragement and support, I would invite you please to connect with Trisha. Okay. So this broadcast is coming to a close. Thank you so much for watching our live broadcast tonight. Please go ahead and like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let's Break the Silence with Angeline. I go live once a week. And please, and if you would like to continue to receive resources that will equip and empower you on your healing journey, stay in the now with news and promotions. So please go to my website, letsbreakthesilence.com. There'll be a pop-up. Just put your name and your email address, and we will send you weekly emails. I'm not that type of person who emails every day, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay. So let me just see if there's any final words. Oh, good. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Belinda. Thank you.
Yes, I did. I have my iPad on the other side of me, so I can see myself watching how the YouTube looks like. So I got a message from Messenger, and it's you. So
Good.
yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
To your message after this has finished, and you can chat then.
Okay, very good. Awesome. Awesome. I'm so happy for you. Belinda, thank you so much for supporting Trisha. I really, really appreciate it. All right. So this broadcast is coming to a close. We will get this podcast out ASAP. It will be uploaded on Spotify tomorrow. And my Spotify channel is Let's Break the Silence with Angeline. And I am also on Apple Podcasts and iHeartRadio. So we need to spread the word. And I'm going to let him know. Okay, good, very good. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to let him know Mark loves to help. There you go. See? Thank you, Belinda. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, well, see? Oh, our pleasure. And Trisha, see?
It's my pleasure to share my story. And this morning, last night, I've been talking to the world to actually figure out what to share, what sort of things I would share about Levi. And, it's a great place to share my story, because I know there are moms just like myself going through a similar journey as me. And I really want to thank Angeline for inviting me to be part of this podcast interview, and sharing my story with her. And she's a pleasure to be working with.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And Trish, you're a pleasure to work with too. We worked together for 9 weeks, and Trish consistently showed up. Every single week. So I am very, very happy and blessed that you're here with us tonight. And thank you, Belinda. And thank you for connecting with Trisha. So I'm sure you're going to have a great conversation. And I'm really, really super excited for your journey, Trisha. I'm really, really excited. So I support you. I support all the single moms out there and the single moms with, children who have autism. So let's keep spreading the word. And share this live out with a friend. Share this live out with a friend who needs to hear this message. I'm going to be doing some repurposing, doing some clips over the weekend, and I will share them on my TikTok. So my TikTok, you can follow me at Angeline_Break the Silence. And Instagram, all the links will be posted in the show notes and on my Facebook page. All right, everyone, have a great night. Thank you so much, Trisha. Just please stay in the green room for 5 minutes. And thank you, everyone. And this live is coming to a close. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye.